All right. So if I have to add other type of questions, which generally come up with different type of scale building and other measures. So generally we use the Likert scale, the 5-point or 7-point Likert scale to assess some of the dimensions in behavioral sciences, marketing, or even in behavioral finances, or other kind of questions which are related to hospitality or otherwise. So those can be taken up here. So for example, I'll just add a question here. It talks about if you're asking this to an educator. Okay, remember this. You're asking this to an educator. You're asking whether this form of teaching learning, that is online teaching learning, is it effective? Okay, so this is what you want to know. So you're asking this to the educator. So you just write the question. The online form of teaching and learning is effective. So this is a simple statement form question. Now you see Google gives me an option straight away that you can use this: strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree, which is again a Likert scale. I can use this suggestion. I can say add all, that I can do, but in that process I'll not be able to show to you how it can be done in a way which is different from what we have been doing earlier. So what I do is I'll click on linear scale here, because I want this linear scale to be there when I'm downloading my responses in spreadsheet form, and then maybe subsequently taking it to some other software like SPSS or SAS for further calculations, empirical assessment. So what I can do, I'll have to use linear scale here. If I want to make it a 1 to 5 rating, you can just see here it's 1 to 5, but you can always change it. So if I want that my Likert scale is a 7-point Likert scale and not 5-point, then I can just click on here and make it a 7-point. You can also see there you have other options. You can go up to 10 here. So I'll click on 7. Generally we take the odd numbers, and I'll put it strongly disagree. And in the 7th option, we have to give strongly agree. Generally, this is the Likert scale form which will come, and if I click OK, you can see this is how it is going to be shown. I'll just show you a little later how this will look in the entire form. It will be a kind of linear scaling, okay, wherein you're not giving what each of the options are, just the extreme options which you can put it here. This is one form which we generally keep it. This is it to my question formation. I can go on adding more questions. What we have to do it here is now we want to disseminate the information sort. So how I'll do it, you can see here it's a send button is already there. Okay, so I'll click on send. You can see this is automatically collect respondents, normal college email address. Now this is the suite which I'm using. This is a G Suite which I'm using. This is given to me by my colleague. If it's not the case, this will not crop up. Okay. Now I want to send it to specific number of people whose email ID I already have. Then I can just click on this and I can paste the email ID and then disseminate the information by clicking on send. Now, for example, if I want to add collaborators in my Google form, I want it to be checked or edited or improvised by my fellow colleagues, then I'll add collaborators here by clicking on this. So now you see this kind of form. This is the form link which is going to be generated. Now, who has access to this form? It's private only, you can access, or I can change it as well, by inviting people. So for example, if I want Dr. Nikhil to be added here, so I'll just click on this email ID, and then I just don't want to keep it private anymore. So what I'll do is I change it and I say that anyone who is having the link will be able to edit it. All right. So I can click on this and I can save it here. So now anybody who has the link can edit this form. All right, with whom I'm sharing this kind of form. I can also send a copy. If I click here, I'll create and send a copy to myself. I can also this is my owner setting. If I prevent editors from changing access and adding other people. So for example, I've just added Dr. Nikhil here, but I don't want him to add further people to this form or making changes to this form. Then I can click on this and be done away with it. Okay, and I can save the changes here, and that's it. So now if I send it, it will go to Dr. Nikhil. Okay, so this is how you do things. Okay, now I want to send it to people again. I want to show you some more things which are here. So you can also, create a link for this, a link for filling up the form right here. So, or see, this is a longer link. If you want to shorten the link, you can just create on this, and this becomes a shorter link. Now you can just copy it from here, and you can paste it to your social networking sites or your friends. You can mail them this specific link which you have just copied right now. Okay. Also, you can see you have share from Facebook and Twitter, which are good medium to reaching out to lot more people. All right. Uh, you can also embed HTML with this, and then you can proceed with it. All right. So this is how you are sending your information to people, the form which you have created. All right. So now, if you want to see how your responses, this is the part where you can see the summary of the data which has been collected by you if you are going to form a Google form for collecting responses. This is the interface that Google gives you if you want to check how that has been reported. If the number of respondents are very large, then maybe the summary responses may suffer a bit. However, if the responses are, manageable, like 300, 400, or even 1,000 response, you will be able to see the summary well here. So I'll just show you the responses, how the summary looks for the responses. For example, the name which has been asked, this you can see it one by one. Then the next one is the age. If you just want a single discrete number for age, you can ask that. If you want to create a range for age, you can also do that by giving multiple choice options. Otherwise, short answer would be enough for age, which you can later classify in your statistical tool which you are going to use further. Now the next is gender. You can see it has been highlighted as a pie chart where you have the percentages given here. You can see the three responses for gender: male, female, and prefer not to say have been put down here. The next one is nationality. Now here I had kept it as an open-ended short answer question. If I would have wanted my data to have some specific countries from where I was seeking this data, I could have given the names of the countries and the multiple choice option, and I would have got the responses that way. And this, it is a short answer, so I'm getting responses as the respondents are answering. The next one is the university. Similar short answer question has been provided in the Google form, department as well. Now you see here what I was talking about, multiple choice option, like number of research articles authored. For example, I have given you 5 options, like 0 to 2 research article, 3 to 5 research article, 5 to 7, 8 to 10, and 10 and above. So in this case, it's a kind of classification which I have done. So here you are going to use multiple choice option rather than you can say a short answer like we were doing in the earlier questions. So you can see the pie chart as it gives you a proper report of how many of the respondents, or you can say in a way it's a graphical response to the percentages as well as the percentage response to the pie chart. So for example, this is violet. It says 26.3% of the people, those who have uh, you know filled up this questionnaire, said that they had 10 and above research papers. So I can describe my data from the summary which I have got. Now this is a kind of you can say, if I just take one question here. Yeah, so this is a question which I have uh, measured in a Likert scale, 7-point Likert scale. So you can see uh, the description, the question description, as well as the answers. So for example, 86, that is the count, and 27.6% of the people strongly disagree with the part that plagiarized parts of a paper may be ignored if the paper is of great scientific value. So this is how you are going to uh, make a summary report if you want to use the services of Google here. Otherwise, you can always take the whole data set in SPSS or even Excel and work to get a proper data analysis. So this is how you do it for questions here. You can also always see how the questions have been answered particularly. So each of the questions, like what first question was the name. So I have 42 variables, 42 questions have been asked. By first one is the name, the second one is the age, third is the gender. So I'll be able to take note of what my individual respondents have answered for each of these questions. The next tab here is the individual tab. If I click on it, you can see 1 of 312. So the first person has answered it in this way. I'm not going to show you exactly because these are confidential docs, but this is the first person has given a response, and that report I can take it out from here. Similarly, the second one and the third one, and it goes on. So this is there. One more thing which is very important is accepting responses. If you want that this is the work is done, so you can close the response sheet right now and print the entire form, or you want to print the responses one by one. So here the print response form is given here. If you want to delete one specific respondent's response, you can use this delete response button. So it's number 2 here, you can see the number 3rd, number 4th, and that way you have 312 responses. If you want one such response to be deleted because maybe it is not fit for research purpose, analysis purpose, you may delete it here rather than deleting it in your spreadsheet. All right. So the next thing, which is again very important, is this part where you can see you can get email notifications for new responses. For example, if you want that every new response gives you a notification on email, then you can select this. You can also select response destination. Where does it actually go? So in which file, which folder has to be saved? So that the most important part here is this, that is download responses. Now in download responses, if I just download it, I'll be getting a spreadsheet which I just shown you in the other video. So you can download this response and it will be downloaded in a spreadsheet, that is MS Excel, and then you can further make an analysis of the same. You can also print responses to have a basic description of things, how it has been reported by the respondent. So that can also be done. If you want to delete all the responses, which you don't want to do obviously, so you will use this command if that is the case. Okay, now let me show to you how the responses are registered and what steps you can take to further work on that file. So this is one of the recent forms which I had got it filled from my respondents. I click on this. Okay, so this is the file which has been disseminated to lot of people, and this is the information which is here, which I have asked for. You can see I have used the same which I have previously talked about. Click on this 3 different dots. You can see I'll click on this and I'll go to download responses. I'll download the responses, the response which I'll be getting. Okay, so this is the screen which I'm sharing right now with you. These are the responses which I had taken from the form. It was directly downloaded and now I can see it in a spreadsheet form. You can see for each of the questions I'm getting the responses here. So the first question, sometimes one cannot avoid using other people's work without citing the source, because there are only so many ways to describe something. So people have responded in this manner, and this is the response which I'm getting. So it has been correctly portrayed in the spreadsheet form. You can further, if you want to import it further, if you don't want to work on Excel for the empirical tests which you want to carry out, if you want to use it in SPSS, for example, you can import this file and directly work around. So everything is interrelated over here. So thank you for listening and watching my video on Google Forms. Hope you have understood it well. Have a good day.